Hello, today we are welcoming my friend, Dr. Marcia Levi. Hi, Dr. Marcia.
Hi, Kelsey and Tina.
We are so excited to have you here today. I met Dr. Marcia virtually through Patrice Washington and doing some coaching together there, and then got to meet you in person finally when we went to Mexico together in May.
We we did. We had a great time.
Yes, yes. And I think so Dr. Marcia is a chiropractor, but I know you've woven in a lot of yourself, your God-given gifts in with your education and expertise and created something that probably exists nowhere else in what you offer to your clients. And I'm fascinated by this. So
Oh,
I would love to hear more about how you've been able to weave those things together.
mm, that's a good question. At least for me. At least for me. So I'll say this. Thank you both, Kelsey and Tina, for having me. It is a true pleasure. Kelsey is, as you see, full of joy, full of life, full of energy. And so I am grateful to be in this space with you ladies. Thank you for the invitation. Yes.
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
I'm with Coach Patrice. I think, with Coach Patrice Washington being our connector, we couldn't have asked for a better connection, right? She is absolutely the best. So I am a chiropractor because I move bones. And so I'm primarily known as a chiropractor because my hands get a chance to realign people. But I use a couple of tools to help me to do that. So one, I'm a synesthetate, so I see energy. Some people hear energy, some people will taste sounds. So it's a little different for each person, how they manage life and manage that gift that they have. Some people, numbers come as 3D off of a page. Some people can hear around the corner and miles over. They can sense something before it's happening. We all have these gifts that God has given us. And I happen to be able to use mine in the world of work simply because people come in stuck, out of alignment, out of God's plumb line. And so my hands get a chance to help them get back into alignment using not only energy, but the heat that I will feel off of their bodies. So all chiropractors will touch you. Not all of them will correct you by hand. Some chiropractors will correct using instruments. I happen to evaluate and correct by hand. And this started out way early in my childhood. I always knew I wanted to be a doctor, but I wanted to be a different kind of doctor, a doctor that touched people. So God led me to be able to use chiropractic in this manner, which I'm so grateful for because it brings me a lot of peace and I pray a lot of healing for my patients. And then along the way, I learned that movement is good medicine. So physiotherapy and occupational therapy. So we say physiotherapy because we do physical and occupational therapy. I'm also a dietitian, so nourishing foods are part of one of the principles that we do. Eat healthy foods, nourishing foods that are ethnically and culturally sound for you. And then who cannot work on their mind, right? So
Right.
that's one of our principles.
Wow. I love you already.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
we talk about holistic healing, but I feel like you've taken this to another level in what you offer, even just in your practice. So often we find that we're trying to still piecemeal holistic healing into one place, and somehow you have brought so much of this into your practice. Is it just you, or do you have what's your team look like that helps you accomplish all of this?
So my team, and thank you for saying that. It has been a journey because I've had to explain to my peers and friends, sometimes a few patients, not a lot of them, because most people are searching for the circle. And once they come into the circle and they understand that, they're like, this is what I needed. But for a lot of people, because they see a chiropractor as a rotation adjuster, and I'm a neutral adjuster. I do a lot of light touch, a lot of neutralizing, because people already have a lot of rotation and trauma in their bodies. So it's like combing my hair. I'm not twisting it around. My journey, my skill set is in making sure that I line that up.
Mm.
And so in my office, I have a team of, I have to count now, four of ladies who work with me currently. And then we have people that we refer to in a circle. So we use massage therapists, acupuncturists, other physical therapists, orthopedists, your primary care doctor, endocrinologists, allergists. So we have doctors who specialize in the thing they do. And it's like a bicycle spoke. We'll send patients out and they come back and forth depending on the care that they need. That's what we do.
Is it just a network of doctors you've picked up along the way, or is there a formal network that you guys work within?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So because in our office we accept insurance, we're particularly caring for our population that's above 65. So Medicare is one, and they must have their primary involved in their care. So there's a lot of language that goes on with a primary care doctor because they'll ask, well, how did you know the patient has parasites? And so I'll offer an explanation and give guidance, or I'll ask them, I need you to test your Epstein-Barr virus. And they'll say, well, why? And I said, well, they had mono as a child, and now it's being expressed, what do we call internal shingles, right? So this person's having neuropathy, internal nerve pain. And so we need to check and make sure that Epstein-Barr is within a normal level so I can help them manage it, not just with the adjustment, but with supplements or so. So it leads to a lot of conversations, but a lot of people are self-pay. So we get a chance to invite other practitioners that we know that are really good for them into the health circle.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of formal and a little bit of we know who you need to see, be honest.
Yeah. How did you ever get the idea to do this? What was that God wink that you received, like, instead of just doing your chiropractic? How did you get that vision that you wanted to, and blossom it to what it is today?
That is such a powerful question, Tina, because I saw it as a child and I said it as a child, and people dissuade me because they said nobody does the whole body. Because I kept saying, yeah, I help people heal by touching them.
Yeah.
And people were, well, you must be a surgeon. I'm like, no, I'm definitely not cutting on anybody. And then they would say, well, we are a massage therapist. I said, no, I could see myself in my dreams, in my waking and moving hour, even as I'm talking to you, my fingertips are tingling, where my duty, my assignment was to realign them, but also to speak. So my first degree is in education. I'm a trained teacher, taught high school for 5 years, and it's where whatever information I'm going to share with the patient, I need to educate them. So for me, Romans 12:1 and 2 is seeped into what I do. Paul reminded us to make our bodies live in sacrifice. So how we do so by renewing our minds. So I get to say to you, hey, you stub your toe, but mechanically what you're doing biomechanically to the rest of your body is this. So your neck feels stuck and like you have whiplash, and we need to take care of all of you. So I'll realign you, but these are the things that you need to do. These are the stretches. These are the foods. This is the affirmation that you need to give to yourself. So it's that continuum. And when I got to school, even in chiropractic school, people will say, stay in your lane. That's a term they use to tell you that you're doing what they cannot evaluate or measure. So it took a bit of courage for me over the years to slowly but surely practice in the confidence of the work that I do. It took me looking back and seeing that I had missed taking full care of some patients, and I wanted to apologize and go find them because I was like, I was so green and not beyond the experience. I did not have the confidence to tell you what I saw when I saw it. I did not have the confidence to say to you, you are really sick. It's more than pain. You have this, this, and this going on. And once I got past that and I'm able to tell people, the people that need me are drawn to me. So for any practitioner who's out there who's thinking, I'm doing this work and how do I just surrender to God, ask for his guidance and confidence, and just know that I seek shalom, shalom, perfect peace. So when I do something, I say, does this bring peace to my body? And if it does not, I let it go. We had an experience when we went on the retreat. I had an experience where I said, I don't tell people their colors unless they ask me for it. And then I went down and I tossed and turned because they must have all been asking. So they were asking the universe, and the universe God gave me a full download for each of them. And then I had to come down and say to them, okay, look at your number, right? Look at your color, write it down.
Yeah.
Okay. Once asked, you'll get the answers. All right. When you seek health, the person will appear. The person will appear. And so I would like to be an answered prayer for someone. Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk about that color thing because that's fascinating.
So it is.
So,
It is.
so how did you, so first of all, just to give people some perspective of like what we're talking about,
Yeah.
when we showed up to the retreat, you were talking about being able to see people's colors or like their aura color. Is that kind of like the same thing, but color of energy around them?
I use the word energy. People use aura, so but this is energy because I see if you're stuck or loose and then what energy you're carrying. Like what is your it's like opening up a container.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you were kind of talking about that. So you know that we're all like, well, when is Dr. Mercier gonna tell in our heads, right? When's Dr. Mercier gonna tell me my color? I want to know what she sees when she looks at me. And so that's what you were experiencing that night when you said
Yes.
and turning and you just, yeah, it was all funny.
Absolutely. Because you have to give me because I don't see anyway. Like right now, Tina, don't ask because I'm not gonna say don't ask now. I'll do it private. But it's, you have to be open to the healing that's coming toward you. And for me, because I'm using my hands to realign your spine, energy is never destroyed, it's only transformed. So, heat moves the light and light moves the heat and it just keeps moving around. So if stuff is stuck, you're feeling gray inside. You're feeling black, you're feeling dark. Or if you were usually a vibrant green, you're kind of a dull, pale green. And people say, well, I feel, sick or worried. We use language that is familiar to us or language that's been taught to us. For us, those of us who heal and heal by hand, we can when we touch you, our instincts kick in and we can feel the energy and go, oh, just like a massage therapist said, no, in order to loosen this band, I need to loosen this. So as a chiropractor, what happens is that I see when I touch you or I talk to you, I see what's out of order for you. And as a synesthete, I just happen to see it in color. Somebody might see it in numbers. Somebody may see it in the anatomy of the spine because I see that 3D. So when I look at you, I'm actually seeing people are like, what? I say, yes, I could actually see the vertebrae moving. So when you're moving, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I can see this. Oh, this is where you stuck. Can be frustrating because I may not ask you what's wrong. I may go straight and adjust what I find. So even as a doctor, I have to stop and say to you, what are you complaining about? Right? To respect the dialogue. And so in that scenario, what happened is that people wanted to know, I was speaking to somebody in particular, and people wanted to know theirs. And the only bandwidth I had in that moment was to tell you what it is. I can't tell you the meaning of it or what it's for. That opens up for very few people, and it opens up for people in my care when I'm actually correcting something. So I could say to you, you're pink, but the shades of pink are deep rose pink. And you have to go and figure out what that means for you, because that's the energy you're emitting. Like that's your core energy. It's like the earth has a core. That's the core energy.
Yeah. So I have a few questions. The first one is when you see these colors, I'm thinking that you have to be physically present with that person. This isn't something that you can have a Zoom call with to say your color is this, your color is that. Is that correct?
Yes and no. On occasion, I've worked with someone. I've been talking to them, saying I'm doing a coaching call or a training call, and I say to them, we need to stop for a moment because you need to do X, Y, Z. Because what happens in the middle of the dialogue, I start seeing if the person is expressing an overwhelming emotion, great. Like I may say, oh, you're great. I could see sad. What I'm saying, the emotion shows up as a color to me.
Okay.
So I get to say you are sad and it's showing as great to me. So do you need a break or for some people think anger is red, but for a lot of people it's purple. Actually, because it's like, how much. So I'm like, wait a second, let's take a moment, let's take a break. People who seek me out for clinical help and I have adjusted them before, I've realigned them.
Yeah.
Then sometimes I'm able to, in a video call, I can see it turns on I like to say that it's turned on. It's turned on when God needs me to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I selfishly think he's using it for me to have a better guidance. Although it brings people lots of good information because they can know, well, here, this is where my energy operates when I'm realigned or so.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get what you were saying with, you know, with the vertebrae and getting it all in alignment. It's like you can see the bones moving. It just sort of reminded me of like when you're trying to start that IV, you can feel the veins more than just seeing it. You know, you
Yes.
can feel it, and you can just picture that vein going down. You know what I'm saying? And you're starting your IVs or whatever like that. So I get that.
Yeah.
And that's the energy.
And I love that you have the, you know, the conventional medicine, the chiropractic aspect, along with, you know, PT, OT, everybody else. It's just a great holistic embodiment of care provided for that patient. I love that. Love that. Especially the food as medicine part.
Yes.
I like that.
Thank you so much. You know, our God gave us a whole body to use here on earth for his purpose.
Yep.
And what mainstream medicine life has forced us into going here, there, and everywhere and not to trust the voice within ourselves. And the more I grow up in the work that I do, it boils down to, for example, if I tell somebody you're being realigned back to this color, if that's an energy color for them, it might be the thing when they feel their energy is waning or their healing is going. Because I always imagine when you're not feeling well, being wrapped in a blanket of your color, how much more different versus a color that does not bring you joy or light or life or energy. So I am a firm believer that God is using energy manifested in different ways. And that's the beautiful thing. Like, as you talked about the IV, a family member of mine recently had a procedure, and I would make comments to the nurses about turn your body to the right or the left, just so that they can feel and follow the direction of energy of where her veins are. Yes, it's very much present for all of us. Yeah, so I'm glad you have that too.
Have you ever met anyone else even close to being like you that has these gifts?
Yes, I've met lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
So there's a whole group of synesthetates that will admit that they're synesthetates, and they know that people don't understand that. And so some people, for example, you say lemons and they smell and taste it instantly. You just use the word, right? Some people, you say the number 3 and they see the number 3 floating in the air already. Some people walk into a space and back out because the energy that they can feel emulating from people in the space, they're like, I need to go reorganize myself before I come back in. Children and animals operate in that 100%. Somewhere along the line, people tell us not to trust it. And then by the time you get through medical, health school, any sort of training, you're taking a board exam and so on, people cannot measure it. They're like, this is the hokey pokey part of life. No, you don't do that. We can't test it on a board. We can't give you a qualification. We can't be sure that you're doing what you're doing. So because we don't trust you, you shouldn't trust this gift.
Hmm.
And so then people lose out on the opportunity. I say, that's why there's some people walk into my space and I'm not the doctor for them. Because I've prayed and asked for only those people that I'm assigned to. I want to shepherd only those sheep that are supposed to be under my care, right? Not that people are sheep, but I'm meaning like, how do I guard and protect this group, this circle? Let my portion be. So somebody else wanders in out of curiosity, but I'm not assigned to help them heal. Please let them find the other doctor. Let them feel it in their spirit that they should be somewhere else. Because that is so important. And so I know there are other chiropractors. I know there are other healers. I know there are lay people who are tied into this gift. That's why people lay hands on their relatives when they're praying for them. They bless their spaces. They clear space clear. They operate in the energy of the inner voice, what God speaks into their heart. Yes, I am not alone. Well, we're not organized. There's not like an association of
Yeah.
chiropractors who see energy. But I firmly believe in order for a chiropractor to move a bone, they have to feel in. If they don't want to say that they see it, they have to feel that energy because they have to know where to put that bone.
Yeah.
Because we hurt or heal, right? And so when I see some people out there going for the sound and rotation, and my brain cringes, not my body, my brain cringes because I want to say, the force you placed in, now you're changing the organ placement. So the rule for us in our office, our oldest patient is 104, and you just have a 2-month-old. So if you cannot perform it on the 2-month-old or the 104-year-old, it's not good for us. It's not, because we are as delicate, if not more delicate, than those two vulnerable populations that we call.
Mm-hmm.
So if you will not do it on a child, leave it alone, right? For me and the principles that I work with. Yes.
If you've been thinking, I know I need to get my money more organized, I just don't know where to start, I made something for you. Download my free financial organizer, a simple tool that helps you map your net worth, monthly cash flow, and those once-a-year expenses we all tend to forget about. Grab it now at apricityfp.com. That's apricityfp.com.
Yeah. So you talked a lot about how earlier on, like at the beginning of this story, about how hard it was to just take ownership of that and not let it be pushed aside when you went through medical school and all the things, right? And to hold on to what you knew was true for you. How did you find the audacity, if I may say, to hold on to that and not let it be shoved away?
The book of Psalms, David, the book of Psalms. I used to, and I still have blow white copy around. The book of Psalms from Psalm 1 to 150. I would read the Psalms. I did not pay attention to much David as much as the sound that he gave out of his voice. I was like, if God placed this much in him, right, I needed to walk in David. I did a lot of David. I did Deborah, right, to judge. She got wisdom, and she told people, if you don't go, I'll go and get the blessing. I asked God to let me become before him like Esther. So I used women of the Bible. Let me stop in my purity, listen to lay people who are around me. So I have older chiropractors who have poured into me and mentored me. And lots of them says, oh yeah, that's what I do. I said, well, do you see energy too? They're like, we don't talk about that. And they because it's a special group, and yeah, being a chiropractor is not for the faint of heart at all, because I've had doctors ask me, why don't I stay in my lane? And I'm like, what lane? I help people realign their nervous system so they can reduce symptoms of complaints so that they can have less disease and less dis-ease. So I don't know which lane you want me to, comments to that effect, like, you're like my peer, but what do you need me to do? I am the whole body provider. If a person has a concern or complaint, they should see the chiropractor first. Are you lined up? And then if you're not, get lined up and then continue the healing process. So I used a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of fasting, journaling, a lot of writing it out, tons of writing it out, and just deciding for myself what makes the most sense. I spend a lot of time in nature, quiet sound, in meditation, listening, asking God's permission to move forward in the angle that I'm doing, listening to his still, small voice. He never roars for me. He's very, very quiet. So I have to be very still to hear him. And so that came out of time, just building that confidence within myself. And then I have an incredible group of patients who've been with me for decades now, 2+ decades. Their voice, when the people that you work with will say, oh, she's not in the office, well, I'm not coming to see anybody else. And say, but the person's just as good. And like, no, they're good. They're not your good. I'm waiting for you. I said, but that doesn't make any sense. They said, remember when you touched me and I told you that, what was that? It's because I felt the energy and I tingled. No, I'm going to wait for you. And that's how I know when I talk about a flock, I'm like, okay, this person's healing is assigned to me. My job is to work with them. And once you get that circle of people who will pour into you and remind you that they can see their measures, and they go to bat for you. I've had, somebody recently, her ortho was not happy that she was seeing a chiropractor, wanted her to see PT. And when she told them that I could also do PT, I guess whatever response the doctor gave her did not make her happy. And I guess she gave the doctor tongue lashing, because when I called, he's like, oh, you're the Dr. Levi. I got a tongue lashing for you. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So there are people who will stand up for you, people that you care for. And there are people in the corner. Heaven sends angels to shore you up. And then you just have to when you're ready, because I tell people it takes me a long time to get to a place of space. But when you're ready, you'll be supported in the journey.
Yeah. How long did it take you to be ready?
For different phases. So people of my age, so with children and animals, easy, because they came in all purity. And there are only two responses I get from children after I adjust them. They will either cry or go quiet. They'll stare at me, or they're like, oh, what was that? Because there's something that changed. And then my older patients, those who are older than 80 and over 75 and so on, they were very connected very early. And they would say to me, you have a gift, don't lose it, use it. And I was what? And they would say, you have a gift, don't use it, don't lose it, use it. And I said, well, what is that? And they said, we've seen doctors throughout their life. What you are doing and saying is different, and it's changing my life. So I want you to keep going. The group that I spent the hardest time was my age group, middle age, because I always wanted to know, what would I want to receive from my doctors? And maybe in the last 7 to 8 years, I stopped asking those questions. I just started telling. And so recently, I'm in the middle of completing at Harvard Medical School a certification program in women's health, midlife health, because I was arguing with people that menopause is not the problem. It's not the problem. It's 1/12 of the systems. Midlife health affects 12 systems of the body. Menopause, reproductive health, is one. And so if you focus on menopause, you're missing her heart and her depression or mental health, and you're missing her teeth and her bones, and everything menopause did not cause it. Midlife health caused it. And so you have to look at everything, and menopause is just 1/12 of the problem. And if you give hormones in this area, you have to. So I was busy having these conversations, then this course came up of midlife health and wellness. And it addresses all the systems that I went to address. So did I need a certification? No. But the community, it's about 120 of us from around the world in this cohort. The community, the conversations, the research that we're looking at, pulling stuff together, right? So now with even greater confidence, I can say to my peers, listen, health is more than just getting a prescription. You have to feed into the energies that are around you. And I happen to give you color, but somebody else may be heat, and somebody else may be, something else that brings life to what you're needing to do. So it's more of a circle now.
I love that. Where are you?
I'm in Laurel in Maryland. Laurel, Maryland.
Not close to us.
Right.
little drive from here, but
we're in Ohio. I don't know if you remember that.
That's true. Well, wait. Am I supposed to? It depends on the Packers playing. I follow the Packers. So I don't go anywhere the Packers. Yeah, you have the NFL Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland area. Canton, to be exact.
Every couple of years I come up that way. Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
So this is interesting because we just opened, we're actually 2 weeks out from opening our wellness center, because an extension of what we're doing is having people be able to, like Kelsey dances. Got get Kelsey up here for dance. So you might be taking a road trip to the wellness center team.
I would love that.
Anyways, the broadcasting from our wellness center. So Kelsey can take me through some, right?
Yeah.
Classes.
Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. Road trip, Tina?
Road trip. I'll play
Tina's always up for a road trip.
I'll play the sound bowls.
Oh, there's a young lady who's going to be doing that. That would be so lovely. Yeah, so I'll share the information when we have the Wellness Center up, because that's the intention now, is about getting people more into the community of healing. Because for us, optimal care is self-care. The name of our practice is Optimal Care Chiropractic, but optimal care is self-care, right? Where we're asking you to maintain your health so you can maximize your potential. Optimal Oasis, mindful movement matters. From the brain to the body, can you do it? So we go clinical and wellness together.
I love it.
I love that. I just wish so, I don't know. It's just, healthcare is so different, you know?
Than what it was when you started. Does that what you mean?
Yes.
So I don't know if you know, Tina is a retired nurse practitioner.
I did not know that, but I'll tell you this, Tina, there's somebody around you who has this gift and skill.
Yeah.
And so just do a 360 of people in your world. There's somebody who is strongly working in, because as I'm talking to you, I'm feeling a deep sense of community. So there's somebody already that you've worked with or planning to work with, or somebody right around you, and they have not spoken that they see energy, that they work through seeing the energy that's around people. So the science for me is that I will still use thermography. I use a nervous system, a nervous scope. I use a handheld nervous scope. I use the myovision system. So I actually get to see the heat that's radiating off of a person's body. X-rays, MRIs, CT scans, ultrasounds, I read them all. So to make sure that I can correlate what I'm seeing and feeling. And we regularly test people 30, 60, 90 days. For all of the nutrition work, I look at labs and hair analysis, stool samples if needed. I don't do stool samples unless I think that you are in a condition with parasites or worms, that you have something that's eating you from the inside out. Take a closer look. So I extend the care beyond me, the human, and do the testing that's needed to support. Because I always like people to have what I call a pre and post tests. Are you heading in the direction of healing so that you have measurable parameters for you? Which can be a lot for some people. They're like, there's a lot of things you're asking me. Yes. It's your body. We want to know. We want to know.
Yeah. That is so neat. Yeah. I just love that it's so holistic, you know?
So talk to us about the wellness center. What will that be?
Yeah, Optimal Oasis was there before. We did movement and meditation and meetings. And then COVID happened and we closed it. And then I moved. And we closed it because, what was I closed? I think we closed it because I was moving more than because of COVID. But I always remember the year 2020.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, we'll leave this alone, because it was also a place that we gathered and did stuff. And then space became available for us right next door to our current office.
Nice.
And we're like, well, we might as well revive this. So we're bringing it back in. And in the space is going to be the similar, where massage, body work, stretching is going to be part of the equation. But like today, I have an order of weighted vests that came because they'll be weighted walking with me. So stretching and posture work, but we'll do it with weighted vests. There's sound bowls for massage and meditation and yoga. We have Qigong that's coming and meditation. Yoga in different forms. I like Ashtanga, Yin, and Nidra, but people may ask for more or less, right? So there may be some yoga coming. Absolutely. And then all forms of dance. Our intention is it's about 1,000 square feet that we have, is it? Or maybe 900, but it's probably 1,000 or so square feet. So line dances, salsa, hula hoop, belly dance, anything that helps to undulate the body and hold it in its figure eight. Keep that infinity, keep that circle going, keeping the energy going. Definitely silent book club. Brings me joy to bring my book, sit in the space, don't talk to me, let me sit and read for my hour or two. I look at Kelsey and I'm like, yes.
I love that.
Yes, and we're going to have food. So part of nourishing food culturally and ethnically for me, it's I was just saying to someone, and I can share this with you ladies, she has severe allergies to grass. And patient who came into me and I said, well, you can't eat raw foods, especially raw salads. And she said, what? Why not? You're allergic to grass. Every green leafy vegetable has tons of grass with it. So even when they pick it, you're going to have exposure. You've been testing like 24, 25 points of allergic reaction to grass, all types of grass. So your vegetables must be cooked. 1 month she did it. Her body has totally changed. She's like,
Wow.
oh my gosh, because she was creating an inflammatory response
Right.
over and over. So it was organic. She was eating whole food and so on. But she's like, I keep feeling sick and I keep feeling bloated and you're allergic to grass. That means raw green leafy vegetables is not your thing. It's those kinds of things in the conversations we're going to have with people.
Mhm.
People say, I'm making a smoothie. Well, how much of it are you going to eat? You can't have a whole big, container, but how can we make things that are healing? So part of our wellness center is to introduce and practice together. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Have you experimented? Because some of this, like, different words, and I think that they are different modalities, are coming to mind that I've heard other people talk about. So we've had somebody on our podcast talk about Ayurveda or an Ayurvedic diet. Have you ever heard of that or dealt with that in any way?
Oh, yes. That's why I stress culturally and ethnically sound food for you.
Okay.
Because I'm Afro-Caribbean. My heritage is through Barbados and Cameroon. So I'm born in Guyana, American-born Guyanese, but my grandparents are from Barbados, and Cameroon is our ancestry heritage, which is Cameroon, Nigeria. So for me, rice and plantains and fresh fish, there's certain foods that are going to feel and sound better for my body and taste better for my body than striving to eat flour and pasta. The running joke is July 10th, 1995 was the first time I ate pizza. I was in Atlanta.
Really?
And I was like, what is this? And ew, they took me to a place called Cece's Pizza, all you can eat.
Yeah, that's not good pizza, but yeah.
And even when I'm in Italy and people offer pizza, I'm like, oh, I think I want thin crust. I want Indian naan pizza. I have to make it up to make it real for me.
Yeah.
And so they are a number, like people say the Mediterranean diet, but you're not living in Greece. So what are you doing? If that feels good in a moment for you, understand 21 days, 30 days, then pivot. If you're doing keto, 21, 30 days, then pivot, right? If you're doing raw food, 30 days, 21 days, 30 days, pivot. Give your body an opportunity to experience it, see how it feels, and then move. That's what we teach for nourishing foods, because I want people to access what's in your environment, what's wholesome for you. What's not wholesome for somebody who has grass allergies is eating a raw salad every day. You need to stir fry or steam your vegetables. Mm-hmm. Also, gardening for you is an agitator. So you have to do the long gloves instead. So it's like just being conscious. It's something that we want to, keep people. An Ayurvedic diet is super good for people who have ethnicities and are comfortable with the spices, herbs and spices, that stomach can tolerate those. Yeah. So everybody's saying inflammation, I'm using turmeric. If your body can digest turmeric. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Be gentle with yourself. Test, and then come up with your plan for you.
So the way that you figure out what works with your body is just testing and trying different things. There's not like a magic.
No.
This blood sample, now we can see where you're at. And okay.
No, I trust that we will only be given guides by the blood. Because, for example, recently, a couple of people have been complaining about me stiff. And I said to them, yes, because the heat was so much around here in Maryland that people weren't going outside. We were sitting in the AC so that we wouldn't melt when we went outside. But we needed to go outside before the sun got hot, before 7 a.m. and after 8 p.m. at night to get fresh air and to actually sweat. But at that time, you're tired of sleeping. So people actually feel, I said, the AC is Freon. It's a gas that's being released. Ordinarily, we would say you're being poisoned. Yes, you are. So you have got to open up windows and go outside, even if it's 100 degrees, right? So that makes your environment was actually killing people by making them stiff, chemically stiff, because they were like, from head to toe, I feel terrible. What's wrong? What's wrong? I need to do a cleanse. You need to go outside, sweat, get some fresh air. Open up the windows, open up your car. That car's been sitting in the heat. That plastic has been boiling. When you go and sit in the car and turn on the AC, you add chemicals and chemicals. Let's think about this for a second, right? So those kinds of conversations I tell people and around food, you really ought to take some time and identify what feels good for you. And then practice that. And then it doesn't feel so good, step back and take a pivot.
Epigenetics.
The word. Absolutely. I am wired for healing. If I'm out of my rhythm, help me get back into my rhythm. This lady here, I have conversation.
I know. I love you. I love you.
Big time, Tina. Epigenetics. People have got to honor how you're made and respect that you are not like textbook normal. Like textbook is written as a guide and they test for the guide.
And I love that you followed the God ways. You know? Love
Shalom.
it.
Shalom, shalom. Because I actually feel disturbed. One of the things, Kelsey, you asked me the question, I was saying, I'm not going to say that now. I'm going to say that. When patients died, I started attending their funerals because I wanted to know if I played a part in their death. Did I hasten your life by not being the best doctor that I could have been for you? So when I got announcements that a patient had died, I'd show up at their funeral and I would literally sit and ask myself, have you done all you were supposed to do to help this person live a life in alignment? Did you adjust them as much as you needed to? Did you teach them and encourage them as much as you needed to? And if I could not find the full answer, I would sit with it until I understood. Like, you missed telling them XYZ. Not that I'm the cause of their death, but I wanted to make sure that I had fully given of myself to each person who appeared in my space and asked for help. And basically that came up to like, you have got to walk more in that confidence of tell people, here, this is what I see and this is what you need. Here are the things that are supporting you. We can offer this. This is what you get from elsewhere. And not be concerned about what an insurance is going to pay for or not, whether they can afford it or not. Knowledge is power. Then they have that in their hands and they can do whatever they want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I so appreciate you ladies giving me the opportunity to come into this space and have this conversation with you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for having the conversation with us. There's so much to digest here. We could talk forever, but we are coming to time.
Yeah.
But I truly want to thank you for doing the work that you do. Because you're 100% correct. The more we know about ourselves, the more we're able to, even by you doing the work, it gives us permission to listen to ourselves, to listen to our bodies. And that's so important. So thank you.
Yes.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. Yes. If I can help one person renew their mind so that the sacrifice that they're giving to God of their bodies matters, I am. Yes. Yeah. And Luke reminds us, say 4:23, Jesus said, physician, heal thyself. And I don't think he was talking to a doctor. It's you. He gave us all of the healing within ourselves. And my job is to teach you to make that happen. And the fact that I love moving bones makes it easy.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Where can our listeners find you and follow you so that they can get more of these good tidbits?
Dr. Marcia Levi, DrMarciaLevi, Levi.com will bring them to all of the links of where I am. And you also find me in you. So I tell people, I said, my voice is you as well. When you question yourself, say you do your body scan and you ask yourself, how you feeling today? What's going on? What needs paid attention? What do I need? Do I need more water? Do I need more sleep? Do I need more rest? Do I need some sunshine? do I need to eat? Whatever it is, ask yourself the question. We're all one. So ask yourself the question, do I need to get help to move further along in my healing journey? And where should I go and who I should go to? Ask yourself the questions and God will give you the answers. Trust in the inner you. Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you.
I am definitely going to follow her. Thank you so much, Dr. Marcia.
I appreciate you both. All the very best. Bye now.
Thank you.